I am driving westbound on I-40 among the windswept plains of the Texas Panhandle. My final destination tonight is Amarillo, Texas, where I am very much looking forward to eating at the Big Texan Steak Ranch, which has lots of billboards along the highway. I do have a separate video on the steak ranch, but in this video, we're gonna see a few cool spots before getting to Amarillo. Interstate 40 does follow right alongside old Route 66 throughout most of the Texas Panhandle. You can see the original Route 66 there. It crisscrosses between the right and left side of the interstate, and it has been reduced to the title of Frontage Road in Texas. There's a lot of windmills here in the Panhandle, and for good reason, because it is one of the windiest spots in the country. You can really feel the wind pushing on your car while you're driving. On the horizon nearing Groom, Texas, you can start to make out the silhouette of a gigantic cross looming over the plains, and make out the outline of a cockeyed water tower. That would be the Leaning Water Tower of Britten. The story behind it is that the water tower never met code, so a local man who owned a nearby truck stop, Ralph Britten, bought it, placed it as slant, put a star on top, and labeled it Britten, USA, even though it's in Groom, USA. A few miles down the road, the colossal Groom Cross really comes into view. This cross is officially known as the Cross of Our Lord of Jesus Christ, and it is the third tallest cross in the country. It's 190 feet tall, about 19 stories high. The two larger crosses are in Effingham, Illinois, which I passed a few days ago on this road trip, and the new tallest cross is in Branson, Missouri. The cross has been visible for the past 20 miles, so I'm not going to stop this trip, but it is worth a stop because it is a religious roadside attraction and there's some interesting stuff at the base of the cross, so I will stop by here another time. I've got other stuff on the agenda. I'm now in Conway, Texas, along old Route 66, and this is Slug Bug Ranch. Slug Bug Ranch is a much lesser known parody of the world famous Cadillac Ranch, 35 miles west down old Route 66. You can see here that there are 5 wrecked Volkswagen Beetles buried hood down at 45-degree angles in the dirt, just like the Cadillacs at Cadillac Ranch, though these bugs are significantly smaller and more European. The vehicular ranch rules apply here, so the bugs have been thoroughly graffitied and somewhat damaged by visitors over the past 18 years. The majority of these cars' matter is spray paint at this point. The ranch was the prime feature of a roadside attraction known as the Longhorn Trading Post and Rattlesnake Ranch, located by I-40 just before you got into Amarillo, or on Route 66 if you were going old school. These bugs are also apparently a popular nesting place for rattlesnakes, so keep that in mind if you visit. There's a really cool vintage motel and cafe sign next to Slug Bug Ranch. I'm sure this sign predates it, and that Route 66 motel no longer stands here. As I mentioned, the Slug Bug Ranch was installed to draw people to the trading post. Well, that didn't work out all too well since it's now abandoned. There's a few buildings of the trading post adjacent to the bugs, and I'm not sure what this one closest to it served as. I know it wasn't the main structure. So the graffiti has moved beyond the bugs, and now the abandoned structures are thoroughly redone with all sorts of paint jobs, and the buildings are now filled with trash and junk as well. I like how there's so many empty spray paint cans left lying around here. Even the few wildflowers that grow here are not spared from graffiti. Between the colorful gutted buildings, there's this other non-VW bug that was left here to rot as well. And it too has been thoroughly graffitied and picked apart. Well, I guess some leather has lasted on the sea, that's surprising. The Crutchfield family, who owned this land, and maybe they still do, operated this trading post, and when a big corporate travel stop opened on the other side of this exit, they decided to create Slug Bug Ranch to lure more people over to this Route 66 roadside attraction. And clearly it wasn't particularly successful as a business plan, since it closed just 1 year after Slug Bug Ranch was installed. Looks like there's a couch. All sorts of graffiti on the inside of one of the old store buildings. A lot of it fairly recent. This building did hold a rattlesnake ranch, which would have held a small zoo of rattlesnakes and some other reptiles, so that would have been pretty cool, but I guess the descendants of those rattlesnakes have now made their homes in the slug bugs. There's also an abandoned Shell gas station at Slug Bug Ranch. Again, there's just more and more graffiti here. This stretch of I-40 in Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Arizona is dotted with abandoned modern gas stations like this. I also found this dead baby bird. I wonder if a rattlesnake got him. So I'm actually very impressed with Slug Bug Ranch. It's unique, there's usually very few people here, and the abandoned trading posts are a big plus. While Cadillac Ranch may be a mandatory stop for a Route 66 road trip, I'd say this is a very worthy stop as well. If you look closely, those are two large 6-shooters, which are actually barbecue grills. God, I love Texas. Now I'm going to be closing in on the great city of Amarillo, Texas. Now I'm gonna take a look at the Stoner Patriot Peace Garden of all faiths. This should be interesting. This is one of the newest of Amarillo's wacky roadside attractions, created by metal welder and artist Richard Daniel Baker. These signs and plaques are designed in a circle, so that it looks like a giant peace sign from above. Some of these signs in the center aisle call back to historical events, such as February 3rd, 1959, the day the music died, and August 20th, 1969 being Woodstock. There's the date of John Lennon's assassination in 1980. These plaques are definitely where the stoner part comes in. There's a marijuana leaf and 420. By the way, marijuana is definitely illegal in Texas, so you can't use it here. I like this. Just give peace a chance, as quoted from both John Lennon and God himself. More dates on this walk through history as we get closer to the cross. May 4th, 1970 being the Kent State shootings, and of course September 11th, 2001. Here's the 10 Commandments and a big cross on the plains, though I've seen bigger today. There's a sign basically stating that people are different and that those differences should be respected. Here's a memorial listing the number of American casualties in the 5 most costly wars in US history. This sign shows that there are enough nuclear warheads in the world to destroy the planet 18 times over. Another feel-good sign. Here's the iconic lines of John Lennon's Imagine. Aside from the God stuff, this is a very John Lennon type of place. Here's an Albert Einstein quote. At least I think so, because a lot of the Einstein quotable memes on the internet are fake. So this is a very interesting folk art environment by Old Route 66. It's a combination of the virtues of the 60s counterculture, hippie beliefs, and marijuana, with the virtues of the military, patriotism, and Christianity, and that all those lifestyles and beliefs are compatible with peace and love. I think I got that right. Anyways, saw some really awesome stuff today. Please check out my other videos from the Texas Panhandle and all over the country, and thanks for watching.